We're gonna finish Whole Cake Island. Oh man, welcome to part 3 of my One Piece Whole Cake Island video series. I'm really excited because I do only have 24 chapters left of Whole Cake Island. I'm reading chapters 879 through to 902, which rounds out the Whole Cake Island arc of One Piece, and it's volumes 87 through to 90. So I'm so excited because I've been really enjoying Whole Cake Island so far, and so much has happened. If you haven't yet watched the first 2 parts, I highly recommend so. I do have a playlist down in the description box if you want to check out all of my One Piece videos, as well as my One Piece channel membership if you would like to join too. But no, we're gonna get straight into it, so don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's finish off Whole Cake Island. Chapter 879 had so much horror in it. I'm not gonna lie. The scene of Big Mom running after the ship that Jinbei, Brook, Nami, Carrot, Chopper are... Did I already say Chopper? Nami, Carrot, Chopper, Brook, Jinbei. My brain this morning has been all over the place. I made myself a coffee, right? And I did the whole thing on the machine, got the coffee to come out, and then I'm supposed to steam the milk and put the milk in. Except I forgot to steam the milk. I just put the cold milk straight into my coffee. Why? So I'm a little bit scatterbrained today and I don't understand why. Hopefully reading through One Piece and finishing Whole Cake Island today will be just what I need to get my brain on track. Oh my god, like this was so fun, like such a fun chapter, but also like horrifying because yeah, that scene of Big Mom running after the ship and she, well it looks like she's running on water, so at first I was like, is this Jesus reincarnated? Because we always have like this will of day, will of that, will of this, and I'm thinking like, and also God Usopp, so there is like talk of gods and stuff, but like, what about Jesus? Is Big Mom Jesus? Let me know. But no, it's like a candy blob that she's running on, so it's not quite the same, so it makes sense. But it did look for a minute that she was running on water. But just her, like, running and shouting, wedding cake, it's a little bit traumatizing. It's a bit like, you know, Jaws, like, coming towards the victim in the film Jaws. Like, she feels like Jaws right now. She's coming full steam ahead towards the Thousand Sunny. She needs this wedding cake that they genuinely do not have. So, like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna, like, distract her with something? They're gonna have to, like, fight her? Okay, so like this is probably Nami's or Brook's time to shine then, because I feel like one of those two has to be the one to take on Big Mom. And I mean Jinbei could as well. I don't think Chopper and Carrot need to be protected right now. Carrot is devastated over Pedro, even Chopper is too, so it does seem like Pedro is definitely dead, which I was a little bit wary of in the previous arc video because I was like, another fake out death perhaps? But no, a lot of people commented and I did ask, is Pedro actually dead? And you guys said yes. So that is really sad, and I'm so sorry I made that joke as well after, you know, the explosion and stuff. I'm sorry I made that joke, but now I know I need to take accountability for that and correct my wrongs. Just let me grab my ukulele. Hang on. I'm kidding. But yeah, it's really sad that Pedro is gone and Carrot is traumatized and devastated over it. Chopper is, and even like Nami and Brook are crying too. Even though they haven't known him all that long, you can really see the sensitive side of the Straw Hats and like how attached they feel to people who help and genuinely help. And Pedro was a huge asset from Zoro to now. And it is really sad that he is gone and that he died helping the Straw Hats too. There is like a level there, a lot of emotional complexity to Pedro's sacrifice. But it is a really great job that Jinbei is there because, I mean, I know, was it Brook who said, do you not feel anything, or like insensitivity or something like that, but like Jinbei is like, look, Pedro sacrificed himself, like, without him, we wouldn't be here right now. So if we just wallow, if we allow, you know, ourselves to fail and not continue forward, then we're failing Pedro. We need to continue on. We need to kind of suck it up and do this. And I totally agree with that. I mean, yes, let Carrot, because I feel like Carrot is the one who probably deserves to mourn the most. But what I love about Carrot is that even she is kind of like, yep, gonna put on my big girl boots and I'm gonna continue forward because that's what Pedro would want. And I loved seeing that so much. So yeah, that's when she sees Big Mom running on not exactly water but kind of looked like it. And yeah, that scene was like a little bit scary, I'm not gonna lie. Seeing Big Mom run towards you, I can only imagine the dread of that happening. There is a scene where Sanji's still on the magic carpet, the flying carpet thing with Chiffon and Pudding, and Pudding is wrapped up in this carpet. And I didn't make this connection before, but for some reason my brain automatically went there. But it kind of reminds me a little bit of Cleopatra, and like how Cleopatra would sneak into Caesar's palace or wherever he would stay, and they would sneak her in by rolling her up in a carpet. And I don't know why, but I just get those Cleopatra vibes from Pudding by doing that. And I don't think there's like any correlation. I don't think there's any similarity between like Cleopatra and Sanji. And well, actually, I don't know enough about this. Did Cleopatra betray Caesar at some point? Because then I guess it would tie in with Pudding betraying Sanji if we have that Cleopatra Caesar thing. So, oh, actually it says that the Egyptian Navy deserts, leading the defeated Antony to believe that Cleopatra has betrayed him to Octavius. Did Cleopatra betray Mark Antony? Okay, maybe we can connect Sanji to Mark Antony. Look at me trying to enforce things on this text. So Cleopatra is never loyal to Antony, like Pudding is never loyal to Sanji, even though she claims to kill herself over him. Her constant willingness throughout the play to manipulate him is an indication of the fact that she'd betray him as soon as it was convenient for her, either politically or emotionally. And we had that political marriage between Sanji and Pudding all set up, but then they were going to betray him. Yeah, it does seem to me that potentially Cleopatra betrayed Mark Antony at some point. Okay, I don't know enough about that to talk about that, but just Pudding being rolled up in that carpet made me think of Cleopatra. There we go. That's all I've got to say on that. And Luffy is also still fighting Katakuri. Okay, perfect. I want to talk about the next popularity poll. I can't believe how quickly this popularity poll has come, because I only mentioned it not too long ago. I can't even remember which video it was in. It was probably Dressrosa Part 2, which was only like 3 or 4 videos ago. So we already have another popularity poll at the end of volume 87. Wow, so this one's over 80,000 votes cast, now including Whole Cake Island characters. So let's have a little look at this popularity poll actually, because Luffy is still first, always first. Zoro has now come back to number 2 when it used to be Law, Trafalgar Law, but we haven't really seen too much of Law, so I guess that is reflected in the popularity poll. So that means that Zoro's gone back to number 2, Sanji back to be number 3, which I guess after Whole Cake Island I can see why people would vote for him again, but I believe he's always been either 3 or 4 in the poll, so there's that. Law is now number 4, Ace number 5. I love saying that. I love that so much. Number 5. And Sabo's gone down to number 9. So I was a little bit ticked off in the previous poll how Sabo was just above Ace, even though we'd only just been reintroduced to Sabo. So I was like, well, why? Like, as much as I liked Sabo by the end of Dressrosa, I was a bit confused by the fact that Sabo overtook Ace. But now it looks like Ace has overtook Sabo again, and Sabo's now number 9. Jinbei's number 6. Love to say that. Chopper 7. Nami 8. Too low. Far too low for Nami. Sabo 9, Boa Hancock 10, 11 Shanks, 12 Nico Robin. I hate the fact that Robin has been rather low compared to other people. Like, I genuinely feel like she should definitely be at least above Hancock. As much as I really like Hancock. Hancock's barely been in it since, like, the time skip, I guess. So, come on, why is she in the top 10 now? I do like her, but I just don't get why Robin is below her. Cavendish 13, I do love that. Wait, where's Bartolomeo? Where's Bartolomeo? He should be right up there as well. Why isn't he? Usopp's 15. Reiju is number 14, so she's the first Whole Cake Island person to, like, jump up to that. Brooke 19, Frankie 20. Where is Bartolomeo? 30? 30. Below Pudding. Below Charlotte Pudding, you're kidding me, aren't you? You are kidding me. Charlotte Pudding 29, Bartolomeo 30. Bonclay 25, Cara 27. Well. It looks like Frankie must be the least popular Straw Hat then, with Brooke just slightly above him. But I guess they're all in the top 20. Okay. Some interesting things about that popularity poll, which I'll not talk too much about because it doesn't really belong in a video about Whole Cake Island. But I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it, and yeah, now I finished volume 87, it is time to go on to volume 88. While Big Mom continues to terrify, it's like Poseidon Adventure. I wonder, actually, it would be so cool if this tidal wave did kind of take down the Thousand Sunny, and like the Thousand Sunnies upside down in the sea, and we had like some kind of like Poseidon Adventure kind of thing going on. Oh my god, like Big Mom, she's gonna get there eventually. She's gonna get on this ship, She is going to get them. I don't know what's going to happen when that happens, but I'm excited to see that unfold. Probably more so than the fight between Luffy and Katakuri, which, don't get me wrong, is still like really intense and really interesting. And now I feel like Luffy can give it his all in that battle now, because his mind's been in pretty much two places. He wants to try and still protect the Thousand Sunny and the shipmates that are on there by smashing the mirrors and making sure that nobody can get on. Even though, like, there is now probably not a way for him to escape on there himself if they smash all of the mirrors. But now I think he will be able to just focus his attention on Katakuri. However, like, at the very end of the chapter, we do have Nami say we might not make it, and Luffy has this, like, pretty terrified expression on his face, like, angry almost as well. But this tidal wave, man, this tidal wave is huge. And with Big Mom on top of there too, and just that smiling face. Wait, hang on. A tidal wave? Isn't that water? Okay, I'm not going to try and get into the logistics of that. I don't know if that's even possible in the One Piece world. I mean, I'm not going to think about it because that's just going to end up being... Although it does look like a lot of the stuff on the top is still the candy stuff. Maybe, like, when you see, like, the goop, maybe it's just, like, a candy tidal wave more so than, like, actual water. I don't know. But that is odd. I don't know enough about it to actually speak on that. Meanwhile, we have 2 hours and 40 minutes to cook this cake. And then Sanji's going to show them all the true essence of sweetness that can drive people to absolute bliss. And even Puddin's like, what? The essence of sweetness? And like, people are going to be like... But I'm loving seeing Sanji really use his skills in this arc and the whole cooking angle of it. Like, this is going to save everyone, hopefully, by giving Big Mom the cake. So it's like Sanji's cooking is really coming into play here. I also kind of like the fact that people think Pudding and Sanji are married, so they're kind of acting a little bit like a married couple. And we have at 1 minute Pudding literally falling over because she's overwhelmed with emotion when Sanji says first act as a married couple would be to bake a cake together, and she's just like, oh, and then the next minute she's like, I'll stomp the breath from your lungs, Sanji. So I did also mention in the previous video my conflicted feelings with Pudding, and I feel like definitely intentional. She does seem to be somebody with maybe multiple personalities. Maybe she is a sort of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of person. 1 minute she's so sweet and lovely, the next she is like absolutely awful and evil, which I guess does kind of embody a pudding, you know? Puddings are something you have after a meal and you are treating yourself to that pudding, right? And it tastes amazing, it tastes great. But then when you realize that you're already full and you're eating this pudding, as great as it tastes, it's going to do bad things to your insides. And you're probably going to end up having to poop it out. The poop after a meal and a pudding could be catastrophic, you know? And I guess that perfectly encapsulates the good side of pudding and the bad side of pudding. It's like, pudding really is bad for you when you think about it. It's naughty to have pudding, but you just can't resist. So I guess, like, I probably just, like, totally made this up. But, like, yeah, I guess that's kind of also what pudding embodies and captures. She has two sides, just like a real pudding. Chapter 881, I mean, I would have loved to have seen a Poseidon adventure thing going on, but obviously Jinbei is too good. He is too good. He knows the water too well. And I love his idea of kind of like riding the wave in that sort of area. He calls it the green room, where the wave is coming down and there's like that, you know what I mean, you've read this before. I'm not a surfer or anything, so I don't know like all the technical terms. Is it called a green room? Is that really what it's called? Okay. Maybe it's just what it's called in One Piece. But that was extremely epic. That was a really epic moment. And to see Jinbei work so well with Nami as well, because yeah, Jinbei, he is like joining the Straw Hats. I don't know if he's like officially 100% confirmed. I know that he said to Luffy that he wants to, and he wants the offer to still stand and stuff. I don't know if he's like officially Straw Hat initiated, but he is in my heart a Straw Hat already. But to see him work so brilliantly with Nami and navigating the ship through this near catastrophic event, it was beautiful seeing them working together. He really does fit in so well. Like, he's just slotted himself in. And I love that they're keeping true to Luffy as well, because Nami, she said to, you know, smash all the mirrors still, and even Chopper and Brook are like, but come on, like, Luffy's not going to be able to come back. But he's like, that's captain's order. No question about it. No matter what's happening, Luffy and his direction as a captain comes first. And that's exactly what Nami was doing there. And I just find it so brilliant that even when Luffy's not there to direct on the ship, his words will always resonate with them. They will always follow his orders, captain's orders. And I just love moments like that where I'm reminded of the fact that this is still like a piratey sailing on the seas adventure. Because sometimes when we go into these islands and we're on them for a long period of time and there's just like a lot of fighting going on, it is easy to sometimes forget that Luffy is a captain and we do have this high seas adventure when we're on land for most of it. So little moments like this, chef's kiss. Speaking of chef's kiss, I don't think Sanji even appeared in this chapter, but hopefully that wedding cake is gonna come out well. That's a captain's order now, hurry, love that. It was also quite funny, but also endearing when, oh, bless, when Chopper's crying, like Chopper and Brook both think they're gonna die. Chopper's crying and he says, "I'll be seeing you soon, Doctor." Obviously he's talking about Dr. Hiruluk, and that's just like so sad. Like that's the first thing Chopper thinks of when he's gonna die, or at least thinks he's gonna die, is still Dr. Hiruluk. He still holds him so close to his heart, and I love seeing how so connected he still is to his past and what Dr. Hiruluk passed down to him. The Thousand Sunny riding the wave is definitely one of my favourite moments with the Thousand Sunny. I can't really tell you too many of my favourite Thousand Sunny moments. I feel like I'm gonna have to do a proper list, but that will probably be number one at the minute, because that was just epic. Riding that wave, riding the green room or whatever it is, epic. Now Luffy needs to get to Cacao Island, and I think Nami said like 10 hours before they'll be able to come round and get Luffy and Sanji, because that seems to be the only way Luffy will be able to escape this island, because yeah, he really doesn't have any other option but to wait for his crew for 10 hours. Who knows, maybe he'll be fighting Katakuri the entire time. About 2.5 hours for this wedding cake, 10 hours for them to reach the island. I just find it so hilarious in chapter 882 when Luffy's trying to fight Katakuri and Brûlée is literally just sticking her face out one of the mirrors and being like, well, giving us a list of accomplishments and things that Katakuri can do. Legend says he stood up on his own 2 feet the moment he was born. He's never laid down in his life. He's a man who even looks down even on the earth. And just like continues on and on and on. Like literally like everyone's standing there, well, like Luffy and Katakuri standing there like, and you know, it's funny because, yeah, like we've got a fight going on here and then we've just got a random head coming out of a mirror to say about the person we're fighting all of their accomplishments, and I'm just like, I don't know why it's funny, but it just is okay. But yeah, even Luffy's like, shut up, and like tries to punch her and stuff. And you know, actually, it was a really cool moment when Katakuri stopped Luffy from punching Brûlée, and he's like, what are we going to do to my sister? And I don't think I've really seen or spoke about too much about the fact that Charlotte's family is a family, you know, like they do look out for one another and they do protect one another. Yeah, sometimes I forget that we're fighting against an entire family of people. Maybe Katakuri has called his fellow siblings sister or brother, but like this was a moment where I was just like, oh yeah, gosh, we are fighting an entire family. They're going to defend one another. And now Luffy is pretty much the only person fighting physically against them. It's just so overwhelming. Like so overwhelming. Even though he's only focused on Katakuri right now, I'm still like how many chapters is left of this arc? Like 20? And I'm just like, we've got a whole island still. We've still got a whole family to fight. And we still have this cake to give to Big Mom. It's felt rather different to a lot of the arcs that have come before, that I think have followed like a certain kind of formula. But this one, I just feel like, I don't think 20 chapters is enough. Brûlée has revealed the plan that Nami said to Luffy about meeting at Cacao Island. So that's gonna put a spanner in the works. So I don't know what they're gonna do now. Also nice to see Jima66 still standing. I mean, again, I hate the brothers so much. And the dad as well can choke. But Reiju, I do love her. I think out of all of them, I'm glad that she's still standing. I think they're gonna try and pursue the Straw Hats again. They're trying to escape due west, but it's only a matter of time until we catch them. Let's go get the ship moving. So yeah, I'm just like, come on. They've let you go. So unless you're gonna pursue them in order to apologize for your shitty behavior and to apologize to Sanji, that's the only reason why you should be going after them. However, I do understand that the brothers lack a whole lot of emotion and they're not gonna apologize for anyone. I don't want them to follow them. I don't want them to pursue them. But I guess the reverie is still coming up and I believe they're still invited and they're still going. So I don't know if maybe, I don't know, but they're alive, they're still kicking. But they need to steer clear of Sanji. Otherwise, I want to Germa 66 their asses. And I meant that in a violent fight kind of way, not any other way. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Finished chapter 883, and I'm not going to lie, I think me and Katakuri have some similarities when it comes to eating. As in, I hate when people say me eat. I really do. So in a way, I feel like he's rather justified in like killing some of those chefs and telling people who say meat can't live. They are not allowed to live. So am I rooting for Katakuri right now? No, I'm not. I can get it. Because he looks... I mean, I don't look like Katakuri when he eats. Of course not. Oh my gosh. Definitely not that bad. This is a terrifying sight to behold with his teeth and his big mouth. But I also don't like when people say me eat or hear me eat. Oh, that's the worst. That is the worst. I don't like when people can hear me eat. I hate it so much. I hate hearing other people eat too. There's so many like different little triggers that would get under my skin. And Katakuri himself, he does get under my skin, even though I do relate to him in some extent. But the fact that he's just absolutely wolfing down these donuts and he's like, even the hole is a treat. Now this is true bliss, thank you donuts. It is odd. It is odd. And I will say, like, it was a huge oversight on the fact that Katakuri, right, he can see a little ways ahead into the future, right? Like, he can see a move coming. And yet, he is still struggling against Luffy, which, again, is fine. But I think when he walked away from Luffy after dropping that, I don't even know how to say it out loud, Mochi? I've never had one in my life, so I don't actually know how to pronounce it. But he eats all of that gets brought onto him by Katakuri. And yeah, like, he just walked away from the fight. Like, Katakuri, I know he needed to regain some strength, and he needed to lock himself away in that little house thing or whatever to have these donuts. Just saying out loud, it's just a bit ridiculous and just a bit odd. But the fact that, yeah, like, he said something to Luffy. Why must I stand back and watch as you prepare to exhibit power-ups that I already know are coming? Yeah, why? Like, just because he says out loud what he's doing wrong in this fight doesn't make it okay. He is allowing Luffy to power up. He is allowing Luffy to exact these moves, even though he can see a little bit ahead. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm loving this fight because there's just so many glaring holes in, like, what Katakuri is doing. It's almost like he's not even trying at this point, which I'm sure he is. Like, this is still a good battle, but, like, he's supposed to be able to anticipate all of this. And it just doesn't seem like he's doing that. And I don't know why. Like, he even said, yeah, I don't know why I'm standing here watching when I should be doing something of, you know, this thing that I already know is coming. So I'm just like, well, why aren't you? Why are you telling me this? Why aren't you just doing that then? So he's just not doing that? Okay. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. That usually happens. But I just feel like he's done so much wrong. In this chapter specifically, you just don't walk away from a battle assuming your opponent is dead or KO'd. You just don't do that. I don't know. I didn't love that. But I did love the fact that we got a glimpse of what he looks like while he's eating, because that is terrifying. Just like Big Mom in the previous chapters, just how scary she can be. And I do like that Luffy ended up using Haki in this chapter. I feel like that's going to help win this fight. But honestly, it just feels like a win is inevitable if Katakuri isn't using his own powers to overcome Luffy by now. Maybe I just don't understand fights. I will say, like, the fighting, all of the fights and stuff aren't the things I love about One Piece. It is more like the setting, the world building, character work, character development, the story. That's all the things that I love the most. And fights are probably like my least favorite thing about One Piece, which is probably not great considering there's a lot of fights in One Piece. But I'm not saying that they're terrible either, but I'm just watching this fight happen. I'm like, but he's supposed to be able to anticipate, you know what I mean? I don't know. Finish chapter 884 and we have Big Mom attacking Nuts Island. I don't 100% know why, but maybe it has like something to do with her going nuts. So I guess it's more like a physical manifestation of her mind. In her mind, she's gone a little nuts. And this is why she's attacking that island. Who knows? I also kind of understand a little bit more now of Katakuri and his powers, and like what he can do with his Haki. And yeah, he mentioned he needs complete concentration, or at least he needs things to be calm for him to be able to really fully execute his powers, or like to be able to fully tap into his Haki. And that kind of explains a little bit, I think, of why he is allowing Luffy to get so many hits in. Because yeah, Luffy was pretty much beating his ass up in this chapter until, you know, we have a little bit of a switcheroo by the end of it, and Katakuri and Luffy are now, I think, back to square one in their fight, which I don't love, but, you know, it is what it is. I will say, though, I absolutely love when Luffy said, your armament defense that was so tough before can't stand up to Gear 4. And I just love the fact that it almost sounded like he was channeling a little bit of Big Mom there, or like the musicality of Whole Cake Island. I mean, probably unintentional from Luffy himself, but just the fact that it rhymed, and just the saying of it as well, it just sounds so badass that I did love that. We do meet Oven, one of Linlin's children, and even Oven is respecting Puddin's wish to not let anybody in the place where they're cooking this cake, and that includes Chiffin and Lola's father as well. So Oven is now beating the father up, and I'm a little bit sad about that because I do like the dad. What was his name again? Pound. Pound, that's it. He is pounding Pound, which I am sad about because I do like Pound. I finished chapter 885, and I always love it when Luffy says Brulee, although he calls her Branch. I just love his face when that happens, and like the utter fear that comes to Brulee's face when that happens. Let me show you. Yeah, that's Luffy's face when he sees her. Brulee's face when she realizes what he's about to do. So yeah, the fight with Katakuri, he is getting a bit of an upper hand over Luffy, and Luffy now needs to recharge. He needs about 10 minutes for his Haki to, you know, get back to full power, I guess. And now he's spotted Brulee, and they have used the Mirror World to go to Nuts Island, which is exactly where Big Mom is. So I love how we went from being inside the frying pan to into the Inferno. Will he fight Big Mom? No, I feel like he's gonna fight Big Mom, right? Like, this is where we get the battle with Big Mom. Surely someone battles Big Mom in this one. I mean, I know we have the wedding cake coming. Sanji, Pudding, and Chiffin have finished the cake. Well, them and the other chefs have finished the cake. Sanji's done his special cream, which, again, I'm trying not to read too much into. Because I'm surprised that people didn't make the Stussy connection in the last video. And I've had a few comments saying, wait, I've never made that connection before. I'm just like, My mind is always in the gutter. What can I say? So now we have Sanji's cream gonna be spread all over this cake, and they're gonna knock Big Mom out with it. So yeah. So maybe Luffy will like weaken her and just like fight against her, just like defend himself. Maybe run away a little bit too, because he does still need to recharge. But man, we need a battle. We need a battle with Big Mom at some point in this arc, surely, right? I myself don't have Haki after finishing chapter 886. Why do I get like some kind of little vision thing that something's gonna happen to this cake, and maybe it's gonna be Luffy accidentally destroying it? I don't know why, but that just sounds like something that could happen. So I don't know if I've just seen a little bit into the future there, but yeah, also, I love the fact that Luffy is going to try and beat Katakuri at his game, and try and also learn to be able to even just see a little bit into the future. I feel like that would be, oh my god, life-changing in these battles, and especially in the future too, when, like, say for instance, Luffy goes up against Kaido, which is something that I am dreading and I'm so scared of. It could potentially help with that. But I'm terrified of that happening. Like, seriously, like, if there's anything I'm dreading the most, it is that happening. And come face to face again with Sakazuki, because I'm gonna kill that man myself. Kara mentioned something to Chopper about, do you think tonight will be full moon? And I'm just a little bit like, I wonder why she mentions that. Is she a were-rabbit? Is she going to turn into a were-rabbit? Yeah, they're transporting the cake. Oven is trying to stop them because Chiffin has obviously betrayed the family, but obviously they need Chiffin for this cake, but Oven is just like not really hearing anything. He just wants to do, I guess, what's lawful, so he is like becoming a bit of a problem, even though Pound is trying to help too, which was so sweet. It'll be so sweet to actually have a moment between Pound and Chiffin, because Chiffin's like, who is that man? Who is he? So she doesn't know that he is her father. So that'll be like a really sweet moment. And oh, can you imagine as well with Beige and Chiffin and their son and Pound? Can you imagine if they have like a nice little family unit going on there? That would be so sweet. I feel like Pudding is definitely falling in love with Sanji. Like, there's just no way. There is no way she is not falling for him. He does seem to be like quite a gentleman, and you know, he is attractive. So of course, like, she is going to like him at some point. But yeah, there is that other side of her that's conflicting her and making it impossible for her to really fall for Sanji. But there are those moments where she has those big heart eyes, and it seems quite cute in a way. But again, she's betrayed me, and I don't forgive easily. Oh no, chapter 887, Pound. Oh, that was breaking my heart. And I don't, again, I didn't know this about Pedro either. I wasn't 100% sure if it was dead or not. But surely Oda wouldn't kill two characters one after the other. other than when he did that to Ace and Whitebeard. This ain't Marineford all over again. It ain't. I mean, Pedro and Pound aren't exactly Ace and Whitebeard. He's not dead, right? Pound's not dead. It seemed vicious what happened. I mean, we've got Oven's blade there and it's dripping with blood, and he did bring it down on Pound's head, his back, bringing it down on Pound essentially. And Oven's just done that, but Pound saved Chiffin and everyone, and because of him they're able to continue with the cake being on Beige's ship, and now they're decorating and stuff. So like, if it wasn't for him, then maybe Oven would have ruined everything. And I'm just like, Oven, what are you doing? I know you're trying to get justice and law and stuff like that, but Big Mom's gone nuts. She needs that cake and you're stopping that from happening. Like, just hold your horses for 2 seconds. Allow everyone to be able to stop Big Mom before she destroys all of Whole Cake Island. Oven, come the fuck on. I know he's just doing what he thinks is right, but he was pissing me off a lot in this chapter. And if he has killed Pound, then I hate him. I genuinely 100% hate him. He's probably just KO'd because I want Pound to reunite with his daughters. We even get little flashbacks of him when his daughters were born and he's like, please Linlin, they're my daughters too, I want to say them. And she's like, no, you're not saying your kids. And that is just so awful. So awful. And I just feel so bad for Pound. I didn't think when we first met Pound, you know, being just a head trapped in the ground, how much I would really like him. Reminds me of Gaiman a little bit, who was stuck in the chest. I'm only just mentioning this now because I just remember Gaiman existed. Gaiman, and like how he was stuck in the chest and how Pound was stuck in the ground. Pound stuck in the ground. So much rhyming going on in this arc. Intentional or otherwise, it does feel like one big Disney musical. I did love the fact that Sanji was able to lift the entire cake with just one leg. Again, like, his legs are incredible. He did not skip leg day. So that's pretty awesome. But now, oh yeah, Big Mom is after the Thousand Sunny again. God's sake. It's been absolute chaos, madness. Yeah, just no rhyme or reason with what's been happening in Whole Cake Island right now. But it is tense. It's still tense. We need to get this cake to Big Mom ASAP and calm her down. Just a sad chapter, honestly. A very sad chapter. Chapter 888. Wow, Carrot. What? The full moon? I did think maybe there was going to be some kind of like werewolf transformation kind of thing. I did ask if she was a were-rabbit or something. But no, like, that must be what the minks can do. Like, that's their full, true potential power or something. I'm like, wow. I mean, I do know that the warriors from Zou are incredibly strong and amazing after what they did and what they went through as well in the previous arc, what we found out through flashbacks and things. So, like, I knew the potential was there. And throughout this entire arc so far, we haven't really seen the true potential of Carrot. But wow. Wow, like, her transformation, the way that she flies through the air, it's very ethereal. It's very... I'm speechless. Like, she just looked incredible doing it. With her white flowing hair behind her, and she's almost like a flying dragon. Kind of. I'm so impressed. She's just like really come fully out and just helped so much. Because we were surrounded. The Thousand Sunny was surrounded, essentially. And then Kara just pulls out that move. Whoa. Love how it was alluded to in a previous chapter when she asked Chopper if there was going to be a full moon tonight. Thank God there was. So otherworldly. I've got no words for it. Scary transformation though. Exactly like how a werewolf or were-rabbit would transform. It looks a little painful. It was definitely like my favourite part of the chapter. There was Luffy going back to Katakuri and saying, I've come back to beat you. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty awesome too. But it was the whole Carrot stuff that just really stood out for me. And I think I said, like, are they going to drop her off at Zou before they go to Wano? But I kind of want Carrot to stay with them for at least a bit longer. Because I feel like she could be a huge asset in the fight now. And like, maybe I was underestimating her before because I didn't get to see this side of her before. But yeah, she's just incredible. She's so good. Truly on the Carrot train right now. Fuck. Chapter 889. Big Mom's arrived. She has arrived. Well, I don't think there's any more running now. Unless, as Jinbei says at the end, the abandoned ship, which I hope they don't do because, you know, I do care for the Thousand Sunny. You know, even though I don't think I've felt attached to the Thousand Sunny like I have the Going Merry. But, like, I still want us to save the Thousand Sunny. So I'm just like, now Big Mom's on the ship. She's on the Thousand Sunny. Good grief. And it's been 8 hours since her hunger pang started. Nobody has had to deal with that. So now she is literally a liability to everyone. Nobody is safe. But like her hair is all fire and even that has a face on it. She just looks insane. She looks nuts. She looks like she's about to kill everything and everyone in her path. Whew. And I'm loving it. I'm genuinely loving it. The main takeaway from this chapter was that Beige was saying that they should fill the cake with explosives and bombs and all this and the other to take down Big Mom. But Sanji, like, he does not want his food to be used in that manner. He still wants, well, he still sees Big Mom as a customer, which again goes back to Baratier, goes back to how we were first introduced to Sanji, how he gave a dying pirate some food because he was hungry. And you know, that's just who he is. And I think back a few chapters, I didn't mention it, but I was thinking as I was reading, as Sanji was talking about his cream, I was thinking, yeah, maybe he could poison it or something and that would take down Big Mom. But then I'm just like, that's such a cowardly way to do it. And also that would be misusing Sanji's skills as a cook, you know, and like his food, like he would never ever use his food in that way. He wants to take down Big Mom with flavor and the actual credibility of his food itself. Like it would be such a pathetic and, you know, backstabby, cutthroaty kind of way of taking down Big Mom to do what Beige is saying. It's alright for Beige to say because he has backstabbed before. That's kind of like his personality, I guess. It's in his nature, but it's not in Sanji's nature. So I love this sort of fight between them two. Not exactly a fight, but a fight of words, you know, a verbal fight. And the fact that even Beige, when he tastes Sanji's cream, he's like, oh my gosh, wow, the flavour, you know? So I don't want there to be any kind of poison or anything in it. Sanji's got this. We don't need to add anything else to it. If Sanji says it's going to take down Big Mom, it's going to take down Big Mom. Oh, but look at that. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't think there's any more running now. Either Nami or Brook. Because I do think out of anyone on that ship, it has to be one of those two. And Jinbei, of course. Yeah, Jinbei. How did I forget about Jinbei? Jinbei, Nami, and Brook. As long as they fight, because now Carrot needs to rest. Maybe Chopper can protect her as, you know, her big brother. And, oh, I love the moment as well in this when, you know, Carrot's doing all of her stuff and Chopper's watching. He just seems like a proud big brother. Who knew Carrot could do that? That's my honorary little sister, you know? And he's saying that to them and he's just like pointing to himself. It was a wholesome moment amongst all of this chaos. So that is volume 88 done. Cannot believe, again, how far in we are with the volumes, and starting volume 89, which is an absolutely fantastic cover, if you ask me. I'm guessing Luffy and Katakuri are going to fight, and hopefully this will be the downfall of Katakuri. Finished chapter 890. Big Mom is relentless, absolutely relentless. It's interesting to see her get smaller and thinner as she is like getting more and more hungry. That's pretty interesting. I don't know if it will continue too much longer, at least I hope not. But for a second, I thought Nami was in big trouble there. When Zeus uses the lightning and you just see a skeleton, I should have known it was Brook, because it's literally like, Brook, that was me. But I was bamboozled there for a second. So it just shows you just like how quickly things are moving on this ship and like how the fight is going on. Big Mom's trying to destroy the Thousand Sunny, looking for this cake. And Brook and Nami and Jinbei are like trying to defend it. And even Chopper too. Chopper got a little bit action. But Jinbei was honestly the MVP. He managed to deflect one of Big Mom's attacks. And it's just like seeing the intensity of this happening and seeing how the Straw Hats are defending themselves, even without the big players like Sanji and Luffy and Zoro. Like, they're not anywhere to be found, but we do have still some very strong players. Big Mom is still terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I'm just honestly cannot wait for her to have this bloody cake. Yeah, I'm scared of her. Like, I'm not like getting sick of it or bored of it or anything, but I'm just like, I need her to calm down. I need her to calm down. She's got me on edge. She also seems to have some semblance of reason a little bit, because she is having a full-blown conversation with Jinbei, but it seems like her mind is definitely made up. Like, it is on the Thousand Sunny. I will get it. I'll slice it in half if I have to. Interestingly, I feel like Zeus might be going on to Nami's side now, maybe. Because Nami's like, you gotta be my servant now or die. So like, that was really cool. But also actually one of my favorite moments was when Big Mom was coming and then Brook kind of catches her off guard a little bit by asking her to show him her undergarments. It's that little Brook charm, you know, really did help with the situation in that moment. The only time I'll allow it. The only time I'll allow Brook to ask someone to see their panties. Finally, chapter 891, the cake is finished and Big Mom can smell it. Just in time too, because she was about to take that 1000 Sunny down to the bottom of the ocean. Oh gosh, the timing. Honestly, if you can say anything about the One Piece characters, is that their timing is 99% impeccable. Freaking loved it. It's just so different to Dressrosa, for instance. Because, like, everyone's just, like, trying to rush to get Big Mom this cake. Like, that's essentially been one of the main things about this arc, is getting Big Mom this cake. And then when you compare it to something like Dressrosa, where we have this birdcage about to, like, cut everyone up and stuff. Just so different, so different, but I love it. I love the difference, and I'm so enjoying it still. Even though it's felt like we've been taking a long time to get to this point, it's been worth it, because seeing that very end panel of this, seeing that little ship in the distance and Big Mom going, "What's that smell?" Oh, it just felt like such relief. I mean, who knows though, it might still be a case of Big Mom still having too much of an appetite that it doesn't satiate it. Or maybe she'll eat it that quickly. She'll accidentally eat everyone aboard Beige's ship, like she did when she was younger. And she ate Mother Carmel and all the kids. Like, that could happen. That could happen. I hope it doesn't bloody happen though. Oh, but poor Luffy though. He's like seriously getting such a beating. But it feels like he is starting to see into the future a little bit. Katakuri says, yes, it's true. Very infrequently he sees the same future I do, which is huge. And Luffy is trying so hard to retain those lessons that really taught him. And, you know, he's closing his eyes. He's trying to, you know, anticipate and think about what he needs to do next. Don't just strike out blindly, Luffy. And then, yeah, he manages to counteract Katakuri's attack. So, like, we're making progress there too. Like, this chapter felt like progress. We also got randomly introduced to Flompe as well. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really care about any of these people we're getting introduced to. All of these countless amounts of Linlin's daughters and sons, and I just don't care for any of them. We just keep getting a random one every couple of chapters. I'm just like, okay, I don't care. I'm not gonna pretend that I remember everyone's name, and I'm not going to pretend I know why they're there or what they're going to do. I know Big Mom has so many kids, and this is just showing that. But I don't know, I feel like it would be more effective to just pick a handful, maybe less than a handful, and just show us them and kind of develop them a little bit more, rather than here's another one, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. I don't care. Oh my god, chapter 892. That end blow to Luffy looked devastating with Katakuri's trident thing. I've forgotten the name of it, but that's fine because the end result is still the same. It's impaled Luffy, and it looks like that hurts. Somebody help this boy out. Luffy can definitely take on Katakuri, I have no doubt about that. But I just hate seeing him get hurt over and over and over again. This fight is tiring, not just for Luffy, but for me too. It seems like Luffy keeps progressing, but then Katakuri just pushes him away or pushes him back. I need him to stop, because we're getting some wins here. We're getting some wins. So Big Mom's stopped chasing after the Sunny, which is fantastic news, on her way towards the wedding cake, although I do worry about Chiffin and everyone. But yeah, at least now she's not plowing into the ship, and Nami and Brook and everyone aren't in danger. And Sanji's reunited with Nami too, and his crew. And then when they hug and Nami looks like she's crying and Sanji is like, I love you too, Nami. I love the fact that now Sanji, even though he still gets the hard eyes, it's not blood that's pouring out of his nose, it's like steam. I much prefer steam over blood. Because, I mean, one, blood is icky and it makes me feel icky. But two, it's like less extreme of a, I guess, response to there being a female in Sanji's presence. So I don't know if that's like something to note, but I just wanted to point it out. We meet Smoothie, Citron, and Cinnamon. Again, more daughters, more people, okay. I don't even have any opinions on any of that. I just need to see Big Mom arrive at this wedding cake, bloody eat it, just like have a little taste of it. Even if she just licks it and calms down, I'm gonna be so happy. So hopefully, fingers crossed, next chapter that happens. But we're on the final lap of Whole Cake Island. Well, after chapter 893, I have nothing but respect for Katakuri. How quickly my mind can flip-flop with these characters. I don't feel 100% sympathy for him after his backstory. I mean, it is a bit sad that he was teased when he was younger because of his mouth yes, that is sad. It's just another one of those backstories that we've been getting, just like a sort of a little bit more enhancement of a character's development and just to understand Katakuri a little bit more. And that's fine. Honestly, that's fine. I think what I just respect more about him is the fact that he sees this battle with Luffy as a genuine battle where he wants them both to be on equal ground. He doesn't want any advantage over Luffy. He wants it to be a fair fight. Like, that's his pride. His pride will be taking down Luffy on his own. So the fact that, what's her name again? Flampe. Yeah. I didn't really care that much to remember it because she's just odd. I don't really like her. She's just, yeah, she shot a needle thing, a silent needle that got rid of some of Luffy's motor skills, and that's kind of how he got impaled in the previous chapter. She tries to shoot another one. He manages to dodge it a little bit but falls over, and I feel so bad because they're all laughing at Luffy and like his Bambi or deer like legs and stuff, and he's just so black and blue and beaten up, and they're laughing at him, and it's just awful. It just reminded me of Jaya when Luffy was getting beat up by Bellamy's men and all of the pirates in that bar, and Zoro and Luffy were both just taking it, and they're kind of reminiscent of that and my feelings to how bad I felt when Luffy was going through that. So Flampe and the people she's with can die, honestly, for all I care. They can die. And she's even turned against her own brother when he stabs himself just so that he can be on equal footing with Luffy. I'm just like, wow, I respect it. I do. I respect it so much. And, you know, Flampe is just awful when she was like, you look like an eel, you know, I don't look up to you anymore, you're awful and ugly, stuff like that. Like, obviously, I didn't like her before, I definitely don't like her now. But honestly, Katakuri couldn't care less. He just wants to win this fight, but he wants to win it fair and square. And I just respect the hell out of that. It's helping make this fight feel rather different to other fights. I mean, I don't think any fight before this has ever had the person we're fighting impale themselves or hurt themselves in a way to make them equal. So wow, like, yeah, no wonder Katakuri has a billion berry bounty on him. He's incredible. I'll give him that. He is actually incredible. I am still praying for his downfall, and Luffy seems to be, I don't know, getting a second wind maybe by the end of this. I no longer assume that you are inferior to me. That's great, thanks, but I'm still going to win. So it's great banter, you know. I love that. But yeah, Flampe, you can fuck off now. I just don't like her. Gear 4 Snake Man, what the fuck is that? Oh my god, I can't wait to see it. Finished chapter 894. A bit of a chapter I can't really talk too much on because there was kind of some time skippage. We got like a little bit of a montage of what was happening between, well, how we started the chapter and where we're finishing the chapter 1 hour before the rendezvous time that Nami set Luffy to arrive back at Cacao Island. Things are going on, things are happening, and we're ramping up to it now too. And yeah, I mean, even after all this time, Luffy is still standing. I mean, he keeps falling, but he's standing. And now Gear 4 Snake Man, what in the world? Will he turn into like a giant snake? I mean, he looks a bit scary on the cover there, actually. I didn't really fully look at the cover before, but he looks kind of scary there. And also Chiffin as well. Brilliant idea too. I don't know if Beija's actually going to go through with it, but yeah, they're going to go past Liquor Island, which is where they were originally going to drop off the cake, to Fluffy Island, so that Big Mom will be further away from the rendezvous point. So the fact that Chiffin even thought of that is just so amazing. Like, she is just such an asset. I love her. But the fact that there's a Liquor Island, why did I not know about this sooner? Come on, that's where I would be right now. You know it. I will be on Liquor Island, having all of the liquor I can get my hands on. I mean, I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic or anything, but I do like me some liquor. Probably just as much as Zoro, but I'm not the big, like, beer kind of person. Sometimes I do. I don't mind it. I'm more into my spirits. Yes, just a very fast-paced chapter because we were going through, like, a montage kind of sequence of events. But yeah, now I feel like we're definitely ramping up to taking down Katakuri and satiating Big Mom's hunger with any luck. Okay, I barely have anything to say about chapter 895. It's literally just Luffy and Katakuri going at it. Gear 4 Snake Man does look really good. Not too different from his usual Gear 4 look, but still a bit different. And it just means he's a bit faster now. This really does feel like an even battle, seeing panel after panel after panel, all the destruction and the punching and the fighting and just all of this is looking pretty fantastic as a fight. Just nothing really to say about it. I do feel bad for Luffy. But if anything, it just shows like how incredibly tense and draining this fight is due to how long it's taken, and the fact we've just dedicated an entire chapter to just panel after panel after panel. It's like Oda's really like took his time with this fight to demonstrate and show us just how hard and almost impossible it is to overcome Katakuri. But yeah, I bet that would have come across so fantastically in the anime, so I'm gonna have to check that out now. Oh, thank God. Chapter 896, finally. The moment he went down and it was the first time he'd been on the ground, I knew it was over for Katakuri. I knew it. I'm so happy and so proud of Luffy for getting him down. Just in time too, you know, there's not that much time left until he needs to meet back up with his crew. But that fight, honestly, I feel like it took everything. I felt like I was the one fighting by the end of this. But no, he managed to overtake him and overcome Katakuri. So relieving. I'm so happy. So a few things with this one. I did mention a few chapters back that a lot of the mirrors in Cacao Island were getting destroyed or put at the bottom of the ocean. So there's only one mirror that Luffy will be able to come out of. So it's all surrounded. Sanji and Puddin are watching it. But I'm a little bit scared of what Pudding's done or like what her request is. Because, I mean, she seems like so happy with Sanji. Like she's crying and everything when Sanji said, and this is very sweet, if somebody had to play the role of my fiance, I'm glad it was you, Pudding. Like, that is so sweet. Even after everything she's done. Like, he is such a sweetheart at heart, isn't he? Like, Sanji. But I'm scared now because when Pudding says, I have a request, just one last thing before you go. And she seems to be rather upset and she takes the cigarette out of his mouth. I mean, one, I feel like maybe she's went in for a kiss. But two, I haven't forgotten what her power is, like her devil fruit power. She is obsessed with how people perceive her, right? Like even chapters upon chapters upon chapters ago, she was concerned about people thinking she was a traitor. She can't seem to deal with the idea that people would remotely hate her or have a bad opinion of her. So I feel like maybe this request that she's doing with Sanji is that maybe she's taken some of his memories out. Maybe she has made him forget about the whole traitor thing, the whole betrayal, maybe. Because that's the only thing I can think of what she would do, because I feel like she would want Sanji to leave with only positive and good memories of her. I mean, I could be wrong. It could literally just be that she wanted a kiss on the lips. So that's why she took the cigarette out of his mouth. I just don't know. I feel like there is a part of her that has absolutely fallen in love with Sanji. And I think she would do anything to protect that opinion of her, you know? So that was interesting. That was the only other interesting thing about this chapter. Just freaking so happy that Katakuri is down. Luffy can now try and leave. But we still have the problem with Big Mom. She wasn't in this chapter at all, so no progress with the cake or anything like that. But still, like, that is a huge part, and something needs to happen there. That's like the next big hurdle, as well as like Luffy reuniting with the Straw Hats. But we're almost finished. We're almost finished the arc, so yeah, we're getting some really good wins now. Okay, I finished chapter 897, another incredible chapter again. But can I just talk a second about the SBS corner? This drawing of Luffy in a different future. I'm so glad this is not the right future for Luffy, because what in the world is this? Say, you're gonna finish that meat? He looks like he's trying to buy drugs or something. Hey, you got some drugs? I'm just glad that's not our future, okay? But yeah, finish the chapter. Oh, the reunion between Luffy and Sanji too was just so wholesome. Luffy's face with these big round eyes when he sees Sanji. Oh, so cute. And then Sanji looking down, so you won. I knew you could do it. I'm just like, it's a happy ending. I mean, it's not over yet, but it's a happy ending. After Sanji left us, and then Luffy going to Whole Cake Island to save him, and all of the trouble we've been through. Like, this is the moment I've been waiting for personally. I've been waiting for, I mean, I know like they did come together again before, but like this is, okay, we are on our way back to the Thousand Sunny. I'm going back to the Straw Hats. This is it. You know, like this was the moment I was waiting for. But yeah, I'm just so happy. And Peckham's as well has helped, which is amazing. Peckham's has done the same thing that Carrot did with a full moon, and he's going ape shit essentially on everyone, so he's really quite powerful right now. Germa 66 are back too. I was worried that they were going to get in the way of Sanji, but actually I keep forgetting, yeah, they were also betrayed by Big Mom, so they will want revenge on Big Mom and everyone on Whole Cake Island. So this is actually perfect timing again. So yeah, I'm glad they're there. Hopefully they will allow Sanji to escape, and the Straw Hats, even though they did mention about the Straw Hats escaping before. But like, hopefully this means that they will just focus their attention on Big Mom and the Pirates. But yeah, it does look like Germa 66. What a coincidence, Sanji. We were just hoping to enact some payback of our own. And it looks like they're about to help. So maybe there is still some semblance of humanity in there a little bit, maybe. It depends on what they do next. But I have hope. I have faith. After chapter 898, I'm not saying I love the Vinsmoke family, because again, I can't possibly have it in me to forgive them for what they've done to Sanji all those years. Like, just awful, awful things. But seeing Germa 66, especially Reiju at the end there, oh my god, what did she say again? I'm not going to stand by while you shoot at my little brother. Oh god, that's so good. That is so good. I always knew that Reiju was like the best of the Vinsmoke family, but even just like hearing her say that, because again, I feel like her loyalty is definitely still towards her father and her brothers. Just hearing that come out of her mouth, it felt like validation. It felt great to see Germa 66 helping Sanji escape. And now Sanji and Luffy do seem to be nearly on their way to the Thousand Sunny. We did have, yeah, at the end there, I can say to Head Luffy, it's the Sunny. I don't know if maybe Big Mom's going to come out of nowhere and stop them or what. But like, poor Luffy, he needs a break. He needs a rest. He needs meat. But yeah, this was just like a chaotic race to get out of this island for Sanji to escape with Luffy. Again, like, Peckham's is still amazing. And when Brule tells everyone that Katakuri lost his fight against Straw Hat Luffy, and how everyone is so shocked, and it's just like, that's impossible. How did he do that? That gives me so much hope for the fights in the future. Now that we're in the New World, obviously in the Summit War Saga with Sabori Archipelago, and knowing and realizing that the Straw Hats need to get stronger and better before they can get to the New World. But seeing this fight itself, like, I have felt for a while now that Luffy is ready and the Straw Hats are ready. But like, this fight with Katakuri is, well, it was the moment. It was the moment I needed to see that Luffy definitely had it in him to go up against these billion berry people, and just seeing the reaction of everyone on Whole Cake Island as Brule informs them of his defeat. It's like, wow, like, this is real. That actually happened, you know? So it definitely helped me to see the context of like the power of Katakuri and the influence he had and the reputation he had. So I genuinely believe and feel like Luffy is, he's just incredible. He's powerful, he's strong, he's amazing. He's ready for the New World, which, you know, we'll be in the New World for good, like maybe 400 chapters now ish, maybe something like that, 400, 300 chapters. So he is ready, but this was what I needed to see in order for me to feel like he was 100% ready for it. Oh, especially since Wano's just around the corner, you know? Oh my god, like, Luffy just gave the perfect response to what Judge said about Sanji in chapter 899. Oh, I was laughing so much. Well, firstly, I was like, not this again, not Judge being an absolute dick. I mean, like, he helped us, yes, he's helped us escape, but, like, his words cut so deep. But I just love Luffy's response to it so much. So Judge is like, Sanji's a failure of Germa, his skin is no armor, he busies himself with menial cooking, he has no royal pride, he is swayed by pointless emotions and exposes himself to danger for the sake of the weak, his mentality is soft, he is flawed as a soldier, and like wonders why Luffy risked everything to save him. And then all Luffy does is, so long, thanks for the backup, why don't you answer me, Straw Hat? Judge says. And then Luffy's just like, that was weird, why was he listing off all your best qualities? And Sanji's like, right? I love that. I love that, yeah, because all of the things that Judge thinks are failures are actually Sanji's best qualities. He's fantastic at cooking. He puts so many other people's needs before his own. He protects and helps the weak. Yeah, those are his best qualities. And just because Judge thinks those are bad qualities doesn't make them bad qualities. If anything, it speaks to the character of Judge and the fact that he is definitely the scum out of this dynamic. He is the worst person. And it's so warped the way he thinks Sanji is the weak one. Because I think it takes more courage and bravery to be the one to defend the weak and to fight for what's right, you know? And Sanji has displayed that in every sense of the word. So Judge can go fuck himself. And I just love that message there. The fact that Judge has listed all of these things and made Sanji feel so bad and horrible, and the way he's felt ever since he was a child because of him. Those words hurt, but when you look at it and say, gosh, yeah, he was only really criticizing him because he was cooking, which is something Sanji loves to do. It's like, who cares? who cares if Sanju loves to cook? And it's like, say, putting myself in that kind of position, if somebody tries to criticize me for anything that I'm really proud of, or, you know, like, say if I do get a lot of hate comments, I do get a lot of those, I do get a lot of homophobic comments, like, lots of those too. But, like, yeah, they're being awful and nasty and stuff, but why are they criticizing that? Like, I'm not ashamed of it, and I shouldn't be ashamed of things, you know? It's like, yeah, if people criticize my voice or anything like that, I'm like, okay, you do you. I'm absolutely fine with who I am. Continue being the way you are, Judge. So go fuck yourself. So there was a great chapter. I'm so happy that we're pretty much reunited on the Thousand Sunny. We seem to be getting away. There's still like 3 chapters left, but like, it's just like, oh. And also Big Mom. Okay, Big Mom. She is about to taste the cake, so fingers crossed Beige didn't try and poison it. Hopefully the taste and the flavour that Sanji had done with the cream and stuff will knock her out and just end this whole thing with Big Mom. But I still don't think we're going to be fighting her then. So we must be waiting to fight Big Mom. It's odd to read a full arc. I mean, again, I might be speaking too soon. It's odd to read a full arc and not have like a physical fight with who I thought and assumed was the big, I guess, bad guy of the arc, who I just assumed to be Big Mom. It's a great different angle to take for an arc. And now let's get into the 900th chapter. What a huge, amazing milestone to hit with chapter 900. It kind of turned into a musical, which I honestly do love. I am obsessed with musicals, so I love that so much. And I'm so glad that Big Mom had the cake and she loves it. I am. Even Sanji, you know, in a little flashback, how he was thinking about Big Mom's face when she eats it and realizes how delicious it is. Like, he is still putting, you know, even Puddin said, like, hey, your life's in danger. No, it was Chiffin. Chiffin said, your life's in danger, and that's what you're thinking about? Because, yeah, he is a cook first and foremost. That is his life. That is his passion. That is his dream. He's obviously going to be thinking about, God, when she tastes this, it's going to be the best thing she's ever had. And now I'm kind of a little concerned because she seems to be enjoying it so much. Maybe she will want to continue having this exact cake again. And what happens when she wants the cake that Sanji made? She's going to have to track down Sanji and get him to make her another cake. If anything, she'll want to kidnap him all over again. And yeah, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. It might be a non-issue, but I don't think Big Mom's getting taken down in this arc. And does she really need to be taken down at the minute? I mean, can we just let her be, like, you know, what she wants to be on Whole Cake Island? Let her, you know, if we leave her alone, it'll be fine. You know, it's a bit like sharks, isn't it? There was so many things about sharks in the news the past few months, really, actually. Yeah, sharks can attack and eat people and kill people, but if we just leave them where they are and we don't go going into their territory, everything will be fine. You know, so maybe that's what we need to do with Big Mom. We just need to let her be and just avoid her. And avoid Whole Cake Island as well. Unless she comes after them, which I think she might end up doing because she'll love Sanji's cake so much. Even though I think he did show them how to make it, I believe he might have done, so now Puddin and everyone will be able to make it again, potentially. I still feel like she'll want Sanji, because he is like the best cook. He is the best person ever in terms of food. But one thing I'm worried about is the very end panel, because this is the thing with the up and downness of the Whole Cake Island arc. We can have all of this theatricality, all of this colour, which obviously I can't say colour, but I can imagine it's very colourful. All the sunshine and rainbows and like the singing and how happy it all looks. Next to what looks like the Thousand Sunny has been, it wouldn't have been destroyed. It's not destroyed, surely not. But it's been hit and the Straw Hat pirate flag is in the water. Yeah, we have this really happy moment right next to this really sad moment. So I'm really, really scared and concerned about what's happened to the Straw Hats and the ship. Because even though Jinbei's all crew, the Sun Pirates, have been there to help, Oven has made the water really, really hot. So they're like swimming away. And then, boom, this happens too. So it's like, aye. Before all of that, I did love how they were like, look after Jinbei, you know, like, hey, we're still your crew until, you know, you leave the territory and stuff like that. Like, we are still going to help support you. That was so nice and so sweet. You do get some fantastic pirate crews in One Piece. You really do. Loyal, emotional, you know, it's just all fantastic to watch. It does mean though that I finished volume 89 and I will be now going on to volume 90. Oh my gosh, the Sun Pirates. I would die for them in chapter 901. I would. We were this close to getting away with Jinbei being on our team, on our crew, but oh, when Wadatsumi, I think his name is, the big one, the one that put the Thousand Sunny in his mouth and all the crew. Like, incredible, by the way. Like, what a way of escaping. After I thought at the end of the previous chapter they were hit. No, it turned out to be the Sun Pirate ship. But they were saying how they're ready to give up their life so that Jinbei could join the Straw Hats. What we can do for Captain Jinbei is be his shield and die in his place. I was just, no, we can't have any more of that. Absolutely not. Even Jinbei was like, the fuck not. So Jinbei's staying back to fight with them, fight alongside them, and is going to meet up with Luffy and Wano. So he better bloody do that. At least get all of the Sun Pirates out of that and safe and like fight alongside them. All of that, of course. But like, I need Jinbei to reunite with Luffy. I loved your captain is me now. Like, that is Luffy taking charge and authority over Jinbei. Like, we'll be waiting in Wano, you'd better show up. Oh, I am in your debt. Oh my god. I just love Jinbei. I love the way he presents himself. I love the way he interacts with Luffy. I'm gonna miss him because I don't know how far into Wano, if he even comes back, for one. Like, what if he doesn't even come back? What if he dies? What if he dies? That would be so sad. So it's very tense right now because we were so close to escaping. We were so close to escaping. Big Mom is now after Luffy and wants him to be part of her crew and like at least become one of her homies. But she is a bit late now, you know. I'm glad she had the best cake she's ever had, but she's a little bit late now. But I'm also loving the fact that we didn't take down Big Mom in this arc. Again, one chapter left. I don't think they're going to do it in the next chapter. But I love the fact that she is one of the emperors. If it had been that easy to take her down, then that would have been such a disservice to the whole emperor title. So she has to be huge and powerful and really, really hard to take down. And I thought Katakuri was hard enough to take down. Having another fight with Big Mom in this, I think would have been a bit too much right now. But no, if this means that we get to fight Big Mom at some other point, then great. I wouldn't mind saying that. But oh, my heart. Trying to get out of this island is always hard getting out of an island. Always the worst trying to escape. But this one was just like a whole other level to the point where people are having to stay back. People are having to like continue fighting. And I've never known an island based so hard to escape. You know, the whole territory. There's still so much to go. Ah, gosh, do I have it in me? Do I have the strength? I better. What a perfect ending for Whole Cake Island. That chapter was so sweet. Yeah, chapter 902. I love the ending of it so much. The parallel between Sanji and Zeph. The fact that we have, you know, Luffy, Brook, Chopper, like the Straw Hats, dying for some food from Sanji on the ship. And he's like, okay, I'll go make you some food. And at the same time, on Baratie, we have Zeph also making food. And both of them, you hungry? I'll feed you. We can talk after that. You really see, especially after everything we went through in Whole Cake Island, the idea of family, who our real father is, and, you know, like blood family and found family, and who you call your parents, you know, with all of these things, and you see everything that Zeph is and taught in Sanji. You see that perfect mirror, that perfect parallel between them, and you would never, ever assume that Sanji was Judge's son just based off like the way that Judge is. But yet you have Zeph here. Like, if you take away your memory, like Pudding, like say if you take away your memory of like everything that Sanji has went through in terms of his family, and you had Judge and you had Zeph, you would always think that Sanji was Zeph's son. And you would be right, because he is Zeph's son. Maybe not by blood, but by every other factor that you can possibly have that's more important when it comes to family. I love that ending so much. I think it just wrapped up the Whole Cake Island arc in a bow in all of the themes that we've explored in the arc too, especially to do with family and found family, because Sanji's with his found family again, like with his crew. I just love it so much. It is a bit scary though, the fact that Big Mom is now confronting the Vinsmokes and like Jinbei, the Sun Pirates, with life or death. She's changed it from life or leave. She's not given them an option to leave. It's either life or death. And I don't know if maybe she's going to force them to join her side or kill them. Those are the only two options. Oh gosh, yeah, the backstory between Brule and Katakuri, it is sad. I feel so bad for them. Like, they seem like such genuine siblings in the past, and you can really still see that even though we didn't get too much of it, you could still see how much Brule thought of her brother, much in awe she was of him. Like, they had like this special connection. And yeah, in the past, Katakuri was bullied a bit, and then Brule ended up getting hurt by the bullies, and that's how she got like the scar on her face. And then Katakuri stood up for her, and it's like Katakuri would never ever be weak again after that. And that does tie into his personality so beautifully now in the present. Yeah, I'm gonna try and not feel bad for them. I'm not gonna, because I'm sick of feeling bad for the bad guys. But are they really bad guys? No, I can't justify them, but I can, because that's their family. That's the Charlotte family. They're brothers and sisters. I mean, I guess if I was part of that family and Luffy came and was like fighting my brother the way he did, I would be against Luffy. Oh god, I hate how more complex things are in this. But I do feel a bit bad for Katakuri and Brule. Oh, and then finally Pudding. I thought she would, you know, I thought she would ask for a kiss, and I thought she would take out his memories of the betrayal and everything before that, but it looks like she's might have only taken the memory of the kiss, and she did say thank you and goodbye, and she seemed genuinely upset but happy. Like, she has probably never been as happy as she was with Sanji, as twisted and weird as that sounds, when he said her eye was beautiful, her third eye was beautiful. That messed with her because of everything she's ever been told in her life. It's so beautiful. It is, but god damn it. I don't know how to feel about her still. I think I've come to the realization that I do like her. I do. I like Pudding. I like her complexities. Yeah. Does that make me a bad person? I don't know. Anyway, that was chapter 902. That was the entire Whole Cake Island arc finished. I can't believe I'm in the 900s of the chapters now. What? I'm on the 90s of the volumes now? What? But Whole Cake Island itself, I really enjoyed yet again. I think Dressrosa, like ever since Dressrosa, I've just felt hit after hit after hit. I loved Zoe. I think I would say I liked Whole Cake Island more than Zoe, but I don't know if I liked Whole Cake Island more than Dressrosa. And I gave Dressrosa a perfect 10. So with that kind of logic and everything I'm remembering on Whole Cake Island, I'll probably give Whole Cake Island a 9.5. Because yeah, I do think I preferred Dressrosa, but I think I preferred Whole Cake Island more than Zoe. Yeah, I think that's my initial gut reaction. 9.5 out of 10, almost perfect. I don't know what I could have done to it be more perfect. I guess it's a case of I just preferred Dressrosa over this in terms of what I've read recently in arcs. And I definitely preferred it more than Fishman Island, Return to Sabody, and Punk Hazard. So yeah, Whole Cake Island, smashed. Done it. I actually still have the Reverie arc left before I finish the entire Whole Cake Island saga, and then we're going to get into Wano. So that is the end of part 3 of my Whole Cake Island videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of Whole Cake Island. You can talk to me about anything from the entire Whole Cake Island arc, because I won't be spoiled for anything. Yay! Let me know what you ended up rating Whole Cake Island. I'm really interested to know. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons and my One Piece channel members for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon or my One Piece channel membership, then all the links are down in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye!